Hi, welcome back to the exciting subject of Tibetan prefix letters. We have a little wrap up to do which will make your pronunciation perfect, and then we'll be able to move on to some other things in the Tibetan language. We're almost ready. We've almost completed all the sounds of Tibetan, and you're almost ready to pronounce any Tibetan word correctly. So we have just a little bit more to do on these last two of the 5 prefix letters, which are pre-nasalizing, which make a slight nasal sound like or before the main letter of the syllable. Okay, so we have some more comments. I wanted to show you where to pull the prenasal from. And you can also use this in the study of Sanskrit if you want to make your Sanskrit more correct. And frankly, I don't know any Westerner or many Indians who pronounce it correctly. So you can use this principles also to improve your pronunciation of Sanskrit if you wish. So I'd like you to give me the 3rd column, and then I'm going to ask you to give me the 4th column. Ka. 3rd column. Cha. Ta. Pa. Sa. Okay, good. Say ka, cha, ta, pa, sa. Okay, good. Now give me the corresponding nasal, the 4th column. Na, nya. Okay. Go up your mouth. Go up your mouth. That's a palate. Dental, meaning not really dental, but behind the front teeth. Na. And then labial, ma. Then we can cancel this one for this discussion, okay? So anytime you need a prenasal sound in Tibetan or Sanskrit, take it from the corresponding letter of the 4th column, okay? So for example, the word for community in Sanskrit, sangha, okay, sangha. You don't say samga. The British, who invented the way of transcribing Sanskrit, used an M for all the prenasals with a dot under it, and all all successive generations mispronounced Sanskrit. And samsara became samsara, and Sanskrit itself, Sanskrit, and it's a tragedy. A linguistic tragedy. So anyway, sangha, all right. Then, any examples? Nja, okay, nja, all right. It's hard to distinguish between nga, right, and nja. But if you take the word pancha, for example, which means 5, but by the way, the N came in, the nya came into N in English, and the cha came in as G, and it became finger, because there are 5. Pancha. So pancha means 5 in Sanskrit, like pancharatna is the 5 jewels, or like that. So the prenasal for ja is nya. So you don't say pancha. Technically, you should say pancha. Pancha, or Panjala means a tent in Sanskrit. It's a tantra named the tent. Panjara, okay? So it's hard for a foreigner, for a non-Tibetan or non-Indian, to hear the difference between these two. Sangha, or Senge, meaning, which used to be Sinha, S-I-N-H-A, okay? Because the prenasal for H is N, Singha, okay? But that's another story. Which is why they call it Singapore and not Simgapore. But that's another story, okay? Nja, okay. And how about before D? Da, yeah. I'm trying to think of an example. Pandita, mandala. That's a different row in Sanskrit, which is the retroflex nasal, retroflex dental. But you can say pandita or mandala. You don't say manyadala. And you don't say mangdala, because you stick to the prenasal that comes from the same row. If it's dental, it's dental. If it's palatal, it's palatal. If it's guttural, it's guttural. And if it's labial, it's labial. Got it? All right, so we can say pandita. So anyway, it would come out like this. Da. Okay. We had the word da meaning past or transcendent or to be, ancient word da, all right? Then we had the prenasal, which was nda, which means to transcend. And is also found in the word Bhagavan, which is chomdende, the one gone beyond. Okay, so nda, and then nja, and nga. Okay, now give me the prenasal for the labials, and you're done. Yeah, mba. Okay. Okay. So if you're going to prenasal before a B, which is made with your lips, the nasal has to be the labial nasal, which is the M. Okay, mba. We had kaivalya, which was mba shikpa. Mba shikpa. Okay, mba. So you give a small M sound. So if you want to, we could go forever, but if you want your Tibetan to be totally accurate, and if you want to be accurate in Sanskrit, you should learn where the floating nasals, meaning their value depends on the next syllable, on the next consonant to come. If the next consonant to come is a G, you're going to use ng. If the next consonant to come is any kind of palatal, cha, or ja, you're going to use nya. Okay, so we can expand this to the second, third rows also, for Sanskrit purposes. If a ka or ga, any prenasal is going to be the same from your throat, and these are going to be from your palate, and these are going to be from your dental, which means behind your front teeth, not really on your front teeth. And then the labial is going to be made with your lips. So that's where you pull the right. Then there's consonant. There are consonants like H or S. When they have a floating prenasal in front of them, you use an N. You treat them as if they were dentals. So the cycle of life, samsara, like the French, samsara, not samsara. It's totally wrong. I don't believe there's any M followed by an S in Sanskrit that I can think of as a prenasal. And then how about non-violence? Ahimsa, okay, or like that, or singha, a lion, okay, singha, not simha, okay. So the prenasal for H and S are also the dental. You should know that if you want to pronounce Sanskrit correctly. All right, can you help me flip this? And we have one more short subject, and we're done with our prefix letters. Thank you. There are some I can think of two tonight, and there's probably more. There are some weirdos, okay? So I'm going to give you two weirdos that I can think of. When you have a da prefix letter before a bakyang, meaning with no other vowel sign on it, the B sound changes to W sound. The B sound changes to a W sound. So this becomes wang. When there's no other vowel sign, the effect of a da on a ba is it changes to wa. For no good reason. I've never heard any explanation of it. It's just the way it is. Okay? I always tell people, if they complain, I say, write to Tumi Samboda, care of 10th century or 9th century, Don't bug me. right here, okay? Say wang. There's a little bit of a high toning here. Wang. Little bit. Wang. Okay? Wang. Okay, now let's add a yatak and see what it does to that. Say tao, wa. Okay, you anticipate the change when you jorlo. You don't say ba. Okay, you say tao, wa, yatak, ya, ra, yar, Yar. Okay. This yar means summer. Okay. The season of summer. Okay. And it's pronounced, if you care, it's a little bit of a high tone. Yar. Okay. By the way, there's also a verb. Say kao. Ya. Ra. Yar. 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 I'm sorry. Yar. Yar. Same pronunciation. Okay. If you don't know, if a Tibetan says yar, you don't know which one it is. Okay. If they owe you money, it probably means this one, which means to borrow. Okay. Or to loan. So Tibetans have trouble with the English distinction between borrow and loan. The word is the same. You just have to have a reflexive on it. Yar chung means I received a borrowing. Yar te means I gave a borrowing. Okay. So this is summer, this is borrow or loan, and they're the same pronunciation exactly. Okay. Yar, high tone ya. I'm going to give you one more example. Well, let's do this one. Let's add a shapkyu and a ma. Tao. Jorlo. Piece it up. Pieces. Tao, wa, shapkyu, wu, ma, uma. Okay, so here, it's not a W. It's a u. Okay, so that's tricky. This is not wu. It's uma. What's uma? Middle way, or the central channel. Okay. So whereas this becomes a W, this becomes just a straight U sound. Okay. I'll give you one more example, and then the rest you can figure out on your own. Tao, wa, ya, ya, high tone, ya, giku, yi, nga, sa. This is secondary suffix letter we'll get to in our next series, in our next installment. It just occurred to me I had to teach you secondary suffix letters. This is pronounced ying. Say ying. Okay, ying is the word for dhatu or realm, and it can mean the ether. It's a very mystical word. It's a sweet word. If you want to name a band, you might want to get that word ying in there. I don't know. It's a very mystical word. It means the realm of is. Sometimes I translate it as the realm of is. Ying. It can mean emptiness, okay? Or it can mean the ether. Or it can mean a realm of the mystical world or something. Ying. Say ying. So now you get a pretty good taste. I don't know if I've been exhaustive, but this is a good taste of all the possible effects of a da on a ba. And the strange things that can happen. Okay, don't blame me. I didn't invent it. Okay, Vasubandhu. Yik nyen. So it's the same thing here, except the ka suffix letter. Yik nyen. That yik is extremely rare, and it means the riches of the earth. Vasu. Okay. So that's. I think those are all the strange things that can happen with prefix letter that I can think of off the top of my head. In our next class, I think we'll be wrapping up with what we call secondary suffix letters, of which you see an example here, where there's a initial suffix letter and then there's a secondary suffix letter. And how those work, you will find out in the next exciting installment of Tibetan language. Thank you.